Motivation, procrastination, purpose, truth, drive, addiction, goals, path, knowledge. These are all words that made up my December. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 3 of my journey here in the Canary Islands. Now, I don't really have a name for this, so I'm just gonna call it that. But in today's episode, I'm gonna talk about my journey so far and give you an update on December. So December for me was actually really good and a bad month. I learned a lot about myself, which took me through a lot of emotions. I closed my first client, which I'm really happy about. I came here to build my business, so that was really cool. My grandma, she came to visit as well with her boyfriend, so we had a nice little dinner, and I also had to celebrate my birthday, for a nice dinner too, so that was sweet. But when I say bad, actually, it really depends on your perspective here and how you want to view it, right? Because in hindsight, it was not really that bad. Perhaps only in terms of my consistency when it came to the business and a few of my routines, but whenever I go through something tough or challenging, I always look at it as a lesson. I learned something, right? And so that's the thing, because now the most important thing was that I learned that I was still trying to uphold a certain version of myself, even to me when I was alone. And ever since I moved to the Canary Islands, I have just gradually shed my skin piece by piece, and tried to discover who I truly am. And in my first video, I actually spoke about how I didn't really feel like myself when I lived in London, right? Like I was trying to be someone I wasn't, pretending to be a version of me that was based off my characters and blah, blah. So being here has really allowed me to connect more to my source, to who I am as an individual, what I like, what my threshold is like, when it comes to pushing myself truly. And just so much more, really, like what I want and what I don't want. And I actually can't wait until I begin making videos on some of the ways I was able to do that, because I know that a lot of other people that are probably my age as well, I mean, I just turned 24, right? So a lot of other people my age may not necessarily be very confident in their own skin. And if you are, you're lucky, but if not, what are some of the ways you can kind of like find yourself and be comfortable and be happy in your own skin and just go for that goal? So regardless, the challenge for me really was just experiencing and going through that phase, right? Like, I mean, it sucked. It wasn't fun. I didn't feel 100%, and I knew it. So because of that feeling, I kind of withdrew, which made it easier for me to fall back into old habits. And so I realized it's not actually the games or the Netflix or any of that. It's, it's deeper, not necessarily deeper, but you need a different perspective here. And the addiction, by the way, that I spoke about in my last video doesn't really seem like me to now, doesn't really seem like one to me right now. So I had to truly find out what was holding me back. And the first thing that I realized is that I'm just a procrastinator, or I don't want to say that I am not a procrastinator, but I had a tendency to procrastinate. And so that was the first clue, because the mood was, I don't feel like doing this thing. Why? It seems big. I don't want to do it. I want to escape it. I want to wing it. So I said, okay, you're procrastinating this particular thing right now, or this routine right now, but why? Why do we procrastinate? I mean, there are a lot of reasons, right? Such as feeling overwhelmed, anxiety, stress, fear of failure, etc. But why do I procrastinate? And I realized it was because I was still trying to be someone I wasn't, right? And who is that? Mr. Perfect, aka a clear symptom of procrastination, perfectionism. I tried to seem like I could just do everything every single day without any hiccups. Wake up, do this, do that, do this, do that, boom, bam, bim, I was like, dude, relax, breathe, take a chill pill, just reset and apply a new perspective. So the first step that I took was, I said to myself, Darren, stop caring what anyone thinks, okay? And then I was like, well, who do you still need who do you still feel a need to impress or show this version of you? And the answer to that actually surprised myself. It may surprise you too, but it was myself. It was me. I was like, what? Yeah. Anyways, the second step is recalibrate, right? Where am I? What do I want? And when I say what do I want, I mean in my life, and how do I get there? So answer those questions, make a plan, and execute. And I actually used a framework, sort of a principle that a friend of mine taught me. It's consistency. It's consistency. It's better than more than new. So if you want to improve in anything in life, follow that little framework right there. Focus on doing something consistent every single day. Then you can focus on improving it. Then you can focus on scaling it up. And then you can focus on new variations of that. So for me, that just made so much sense, because all the books on habits that I have read, Atomic Habits, The Power of Habits, The Compound Effect, like the list goes on, they all talk about the importance of consistency when trying to build something. So that's what I did. I just made a plan. And the way I did that, by the way, is I reverse engineer all of my goals for the year, right? So like I looked at where do I want to be in a year time, and I just reverse engineered that. And I figured out what is the one thing that I need to do on a daily basis to get there. And then I added an absolute minimum that I knew I could do and that I would feel good about doing. So like, it's not like, oh, just do one push-up. No. Do 50, right? I can feel proud about that, in one go. Yeah, nice. So, that's really what I did. And lately I've had a lot of progress, like similar to the last video that I made. It's always been like, something new that I learned, something new that I can apply, and just the growth spiritually and, in terms of my masculinity, in terms of my mental health, in terms of my physical health, it's just been amazing. So yeah. And ask yourself as well, right? Going into 2023, what is the one thing that you would want to achieve? Spend half a day going through that and ask yourself and be genuine about it. How do I get there? If I want to achieve that, how do I get there? And then you have to think about how can I, or what can I do on a day-to-day basis to actually get there? So yeah. But that's really for me how December went, and it was in terms of like the challenge mental block, right? So yeah. By the way, the other thing that I'm also really excited to talk about here are I forgot to mention it. I don't know if I did in the start of this video, but is YouTube. I have a lot of plans for YouTube. So first of all, just to give you a quick little recap as to why I started YouTube, why I'm even uploading these videos. I want to educate people, I want to inspire people, I want to inspire growth in people, and I also want to track my journey and be genuine about my challenges, as well as what I'm going through as an entrepreneur trying to build his own business and just make his own money, right? So in my original video, that was the first video that I actually made, I also said that one of the things that I wanted to do was also keep myself accountable by posting these videos and telling everyone what my goals were. But I realized that if I need to tell other people my goals, right? Like I just realized that, yeah, if I need to tell other people to feel a pressure to keep myself accountable in reaching my goals, and the source of my purpose that is leading towards said goal does not truly come from within and is internal, but is actually rather external and based on some social expectation and validation. And I don't need that, so I scrapped it off the list. And again, you can probably use external accountability as a way to motivate you, but for me, I needed it to come from truly within. So that's what's gonna work for me now. But anyways, moving forward, I will be posting 2 videos a month. Okay, so it's gonna be on those follow those things, and then it's going to be 2 videos a month. And the first will be in terms of the type of content that you can expect, will be a combination of my journey. So this will be an episode style, conversational style / podcast style format, basically this video. And it's going to give an update on my experience, such as business, life, challenges, and overall making it as an entrepreneur. The other type will be consistent with my 2 other things, right? Which is inspire and and educate. So that's going to be more on certain topics and things that I personally find very valuable, right? Things that have helped me succeed so far and will continue to, and overall mindsets to adopt. So, if you have any suggestions as to what you would like to, to learn, to get a perspective on, drop a comment below and I'll probably make a video on it, as long as it can help one person. That's all I care about. If you feel like, hey, what has helped you, what gets you up during the day, what helps you stay focused, what makes you feel good, how can I apply these techniques, whatever it is. And I'll actually give a list. I'll probably add a list, I don't know, wherever it's going to be, that I feel confident in talking about and actually giving you some value, because I don't know a lot of other stuff, but there are a few areas that I know that I can truly give value on. So yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I know I've seen videos on YouTube and they kind of like, they hold their hand like this and they'll be like, yeah, I'll drop, here is the list, so I'll do that now, so I'll probably put it here. And then, so these are the topics that you can let me know, what you wanna learn about. Yeah, so that's YouTube. And then finally, the final thing that I wanted to discuss, so we've discussed my challenge for December, we've discussed YouTube. The last thing that I also want to discuss is business, right? I'm here for business as well as personal growth. And so, well, first of all, did I reach my goal? Yes, I did. I closed my first client, right? Well, actually, the goal was to close the client prior to the new year, which, I did tentatively, because the client agreed in December, right before Christmas, but didn't pay until the first week in January. So, I still kind of closed, but yeah. So in terms of the business though, right, like I'm an agency, I provide services to companies in terms of marketing, etc. So in terms of my business, I actually have really big goals for this year. For example, by the end of the year, I wanted to have a monthly revenue of £50,000. Now that is 10 clients at 5K or 50 clients at 1K, not too bad, I thought. But then something dawned on me. I was like, Darren, if we focus on the money, will that compromise the service that I actually provide? Because I really thought long and hard about this, and I could probably make a video on its own about this, but when the focus is simply on the money, I felt like I could risk compromising the quality of the service that I provide in the long term for any client, really, as well as overpromise results simply because I want to close the client and hit my goals of making X amount of money for that goal. So I felt like, and by the way, this may not, what's the word I'm looking for? This may not apply to everyone, but I felt like it did for me personally. So, I was like, it might be much safer for me to really focus on the value that I provide for the client. So I will keep my goal of the 50K just for fun, and also as a secondary goal that will, again, serve as a benchmark to kind of see where I am in the business. But my real focus and my true goal will be to double the revenue, actually not the revenue, the profits of my clients. So if they're making 100K a year, I want to double it to 200K. If they're making 1 million a year, I want to double it to 2 million a year. And I think that's going to be a really good way for me to continuously learn how to truly provide the best service possible and just grow, right? Just focus on becoming the best version of yourself and the business. So to summarize all of my goals, and there was one I didn't mention. It's to read 24 books this year, a minimum of 24 books actually. It's probably going to be more, but I just wanted to have a minimum. I will also have 24 videos on YouTube by the end of the year. So that is 2 videos a month. And I will also have doubled the profit of at least one client. And then my secondary goal is to get to 50K revenue per month. So my year really will only be focused on my growth, and I'll probably live as a monk this year, with the occasional day off here and there. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to building, creating, and just growing this year, and I hope you'll be a part of that journey. And yes, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.